Yo, this is Neville Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
Can you feel me? Now, can you dig it?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? It's your boy Mike Tag. Of course, I got Jimmy D. We're going to get into it a little bit, but first, guys, make sure I know it's somber, but make sure I got to say hit that like, subscribe, share. Up over, I think I'm almost at 30,000 uh, um, followers on all platforms. Or on all platforms.
Damn.
Hit 30,000, almost to the 1,300 subscribers on YouTube. So we just got to keep that ball rolling. I got some big plans when we hit 2,500. It might involve a little trip to AT&T to see the Cowboys. Hopefully it'll be a different team. Don't want to see this again, but we got a lot to talk about. Jimmy, I just want to say hello. I wasn't here last week because I was actually enjoying myself, unlike
Yeah.
yesterday. So how you been, man?
No, I'm good. Had a good weekend for the most part. I tell you right now, probably fits the mood for Cowboys fans tonight. Right now, it's dark, it's cold, and it's snowing, and it kind of fits the mood. Unfortunately for you guys.
No. So we're gonna get into it, and I think the biggest thing, the hot topic, and I'm seeing it all through the chats. I appreciate it. Keep them coming. Is the quarterback situation, and this pains me a lot to say it. And God dang, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. I just don't see it. There's got to be a major shakeup on this offense, and I don't know. I mean, I've never been a fan of Kellen Moore. Maybe him and Dak are too tight. Maybe he needs someone else in there that's got some fresh eyes. We're Dak's not going nowhere. I mean, there's just no way they're not going to cut him because I think it's like $90 million. I don't think you're going to be able to trade him, but I think Kellen Moore's got to go. I think they got to bring someone in. McCarthy's got to bring his own guy in, and it was just evident watching that game. And you get back to the game the year before. I mean, that interception, Jesus God, right in the red zone. I mean, that killed it. That was the ball. I told my kid, my wife, and daughter, we were all watching. That was it, man. That was inexcusable. That stuff, amateur quarterback, high school quarterbacks do.
It was like some high school play calling. Now, I'll be honest, like I always say, look, I don't have any emotional attachment here. I'll call it the way I see it. Now, I couldn't believe, first of all, that, obviously Twitter was tearing Dak Prescott apart, but the Dallas Cowboys official Twitter basically said Dak Prescott with 2 turnovers and called him out. I mean, if that is a sign of what's to come, he might be on the bench or wherever else next year. How many years he got left in his contract?
He's got to at least have 4, maybe.
Oh, that much.
3, 4. But they loaded so much you can't get rid of. Now they could try and trade him. If that's what they want to do. They got to do the offense. Something has to change. Now it really absolutely destroyed, and I feel terrible for Tony Pollard. I mean, broken fibula going into free agency. I just 2 more years left, Daniel. All right, 2 more years on Dak. So going into free agency, he was it was evident when he left the game. It was CD and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the only 2 playmakers that we had. And CD Lamb, I can't say enough about. I mean, that guy balled out all year, but really kept it going. And he was just unstoppable the last few games. And especially, yesterday, he was the only offense we had.
Yeah.
And, you're looking at probably the last game at Zeke's career with the Cowboys. I just can't see that. I just can't see that happening. Even, I mean, he's not going to take a minimum price. I mean, I'm sure he's got some pride in this and that. So, they're going to be, it's going to be, this offseason is going to be interesting. The defense, you know, played their asses off. Tank played his ass off. Parsons played his ass off. The only thing I'll say, I'm curious if you guys, if people on the chat saw it, Jimmy, did you see it? One of the plays of the game is when I think it was third down, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. It was third down, and it was long, and they threw a pass to Kittle. He bobbled it, and
Yes.
Diggs just like turned his body and just totally whipped it. All he had to do is just knock the damn ball out.
Yes.
I mean,
I
it
saw
was
that.
right. He was bobbling it. If he would just would have hit him or hit hit his hands or something, knocked it
What?
out. I mean, it was such a huge play. Their offense did nothing
Right.
until
Once that happened, they started having a rhythm. There was no rhythm for the 49ers offense before that. Once that happened, they got no rhythm. McCaffrey was in, Mitchell was in. They were hitting Kittle. You saw the momentum change. And then that fourth quarter, they had like a 7.5-minute sustained drive. They only got a field goal out of it, but that was the turning point of the game.
Yeah. And again, that shoulder hit, it drives me nuts, man. You got to, I mean, I get it sometimes, but this is the game. I mean, you guys are trying to go to it's everyone's balling out.
Yeah.
I mean, Wilson was hit. I mean, it was a hard hitting game. And I talked about it on Thursday's show with Kelly. If all you want is to stop the run and put it in that quarterback's hands, and I like our chances. It all played out. You gave up 19 points. Everything worked out perfectly, and the offense, blanked the bed for lack of a better word. And it was just really, really, it was really disappointing. Now I don't want to say no on Diggs on that one play. He played. I mean, he's our best cornerback. Jesus, we lose him, I don't know what we'd have. But the defense played so good and so hard, and you got to start wondering at some point. You don't want a divided locker room, but at some point, I mean, if things keep playing out and these turnovers and this and that, could you? I don't think it would happen, but it could get to a point where it does.
Well, the 49ers last week against Seattle, remember that game was kind of tight. Then what happened? Geno Smith made a couple of miscues, and then the momentum changed. Now, momentum didn't change as drastically as it did last week with the 49ers, but that one play with Kittles, with that catch, you saw things change. And then he kept the Cowboys defense on the field for extended periods after that.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
all sure. But I'm going to say, let me just look, Dak Prescott, he threw the 2 interceptions. He threw into traffic, into double and triple coverage more than once. He almost threw a pick 6 in the fourth quarter. He was that close.
Yeah.
So I got to believe, and I looked at all the Cowboys Twitter and this and that, but I had formulated my opinion before this. I think that loss for the most part rested on his shoulders.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That was all his. That's got to fall on him for that. I mean, you're talking about the CeeDee Lamb catch, unbelievable catch, pass interference. I mean, he underthrew it. If he hits that in stride, he's gone. Michael Gallup, that one play where Gallup had him, but it was just an off pass. The Ty, wide open. We saw that one, and I think someone, Steven, commented on that. I believe there was so many different things, and God, I love that. I mean, just a great play. And again, I hope I'm wrong because he's here. And if you're a Cowboy, I'm all with you, man. It ain't going to change. I'm going to be behind you 100%. But when you see a third string quarterback, in his 7th start, get to the championship game, you got as much as we want to hate on Philly, you got to give Philly the credit. You got to give them credit where credit's due. Jalen Hurts, he's going to be in the NFC Championship game, and this is where I'll go back on the ownership a little bit. And with Jerry, is when they had that opportunity, we had Dak Prescott and Zeke on rookie deals, and we didn't go all in. And you see you got to give the Eagles credit. They went all in this year. I mean, they got traded for Brown, picked up the cornerback from the Giants when he got released. Got Sue, got all these guys, Linville Joseph picking up in the middle of the season to try and shore up their run game. They went all in this year, and it paid off. We didn't. during those rookie deals, and that's the problem you get to. Now Philly, hey, they get to the Super Bowl, and let's say they win it. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But if they
No.
do, it's all worth it because you're going to have to pay Hurts. Your team's going to change quickly. But you know what? For that one Super Bowl, it makes it worth it. And you got to give credit to them for that as much as I can't stand it. Steven, what's up, man? And I appreciate everyone on in the chats and all that. If you got to just let it out. We all should be disappointed if you guys are Cowboy fans. I don't know if we got any 49er fans. If they are, hey man, you beat us. I can't make no excuses. I talk the noise, so I gotta take my licks too.
I'll tell you. Well, one thing though, Purdy made no mistakes. All right, now he wasn't spectacular, but good completion percentage. He didn't make any mistakes. And let's go to the last drive. I know the Cowboys only had 45 seconds left, but bizarre play calling at that point. And then Dalton Schultz with two stupid.
Well, he needs to go just for that. I mean, that's just lazy. That's a don't give a what attitude. I mean, you're playing. I mean, if he gets that, they're not. Maybe they can get a Hail Mary. Now you're on miracle work. The 3 and out is where the game is over.
Yeah,
You go 3 and out. With the game on the line, unacceptable. I mean, it really is just unacceptable. But Dalton Schultz with that is just absolutely that was pathetic, and it was disappointing. The last play they ran, if you watch it, I don't know what the hell the formation was, but I know what they were doing. They were throwing it, and I think they were going to. Hopefully, Turpin was going to pitch it back. It looked like Ty was to the left of him, I believe, and you right there, you're on a prayer. I mean, you're just, what are you going to do? You're trying to find something stupid, but that was not a good play call, but it didn't matter. What mattered was they got the ball back and they did nothing with it. With the game on the line, you want that ball in your hands, right? You want that ball in your hands with the game on the line, and they had an opportunity and they did nothing with it.
Well, and not for nothing, but when what's his name, Mitchell, the running back on the Niners, ran out of bounds and stopped the clock. I said, "Damn, You guys actually had a little bit of life at that point."
No, I know. Yeah, and I saw a comment on the media is making such a big deal about that last play. It really, I mean, by then it's a prayer, but it's what the media is going to do. Dallas, they're going to get blasted and made fun of or whatever. But I mean, that was a prayer. $40 million and Dak goes 3 and out. No, that's it. And then you want the money. You want the status and everything that goes with it. You got to own it. And I love the guy, but it's the same old. It's like a robot at the end of the every press conference. And it's, man, I mean, I don't want to hear you don't got to do it no more, man. Don't do it. And no, Josh, and you're right. Josh Allen isn't getting the heat that Dak does, but that goes with it. I mean, that's just being a Cowboy fan. But the Bills, I mean, they should be they got a better team. I mean, they were there the last few years and they haven't done nothing. So they should be getting the heat too, but we know Dallas is always going to get it.
Well, Dallas is like the Yankees. My Yankees, we get torn apart when things don't go right. The Bills didn't have a defense. They weren't going anywhere with that defense. It wasn't happening. And that showed last week in Miami. I know right now we're talking about the Cowboys though.
Yeah, no. It's so I don't, so many people ask, where are you going to go forward? What are they going to do? And I think Quinn, I don't know if Quinn's going to be a coach somewhere. I don't know if he wants to. Maybe he does. I don't know. I would think he's a logical, candidate, but everything's going offensive. If you looked at all the teams in there, they've all been offensive coaches that have been in the final 8. I think the Bills coach was the only one with a defensive background. Everyone else was all offensive. So I'm not sure how it's going to work out. I know Dan Quinn loves being with the Cowboys. I know he loves his defense, the players. I mean, he's a great coach, great defensive mind. So I'm hoping he stays. I just don't know what they're going to do with the offense is the problem. And you cannot run the same. Something's got to change. You can't keep doing the same thing and it ain't working. I mean, it's been too long. They got to shake something up with this offense. It's either the coordinator or the quarterback. Take your pick. One's got to go.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You guys are going to go crazy if you don't make some changes. And it's got to be either the quarterback or the offensive coordinator, one of the two.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I think that Dak Prescott has just been very inconsistent. I mean, last week, damn, man, he looked great in Tampa Bay.
I know. That's what's so frustrating is you can look like that and then you just look totally different the next week. But that's the way it's been all year for him. It's been just hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And you hope that it'll change. Yeah, we talked about $90 million cap. He ain't going nowhere unless they can trade him, which I don't. I mean, I just can't foresee that happening. So that means the coordinator's got to go. I mean, the coordinator's got to go. Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, one of these guys. I mean, hey man, if they could do it, I just don't think I don't think they're going to be able to swing it unless they can get one of those guys to take a deal. But you'd have to cut. I mean, Dak's not going to sit there with Rodgers or Brady, coming to the
No.
team. That ain't going to happen. So
No.
I don't know what they're going to do, but I don't want to make it all about the Cowboys. I mean, we can keep talking about the Cowboys. We do want to get into some of the other games, get your guys' opinion on it. And we definitely, with the offseason coming, there's going to be some more stuff and some more things. We're getting this channel going. You guys, Dexter Carter, with great interview with Dexter Carter, and a really good story about Bill Romanowski. He retweeted what Jimmy posted. Bill Romanowski. If you guys don't know who he is, look it up. He was a pretty dirty player in the steroid
scumbag
and all that stuff. And Dexter Carter, there was a story about him and Dexter Carter fighting in the locker room of the 49ers, and he threw a microwave. And Dexter Carter kind of refutes that story a little bit. So it was interesting. And then we had Brad Johnson. He was supposed to come on before the Cowboys-Bucks game. Got some scheduling issues. Then we got some technical issues when we got him on after the game. So we're going to get him on, but working on some other interviews and getting some players on, having a good time with the channel. So I appreciate, and I know Jimmy does, and we've got some great guests. Just you guys, sticking with us, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. We got Uncle Cheech will be on a little bit.
Yes.
See how we can work with him. Hopefully he was smart enough and he took the Niners. I don't know, but it was disappointing and it was sad. But what are you going to do, man? You just got to keep moving forward. And 31 teams are going to be pissed off at the end of the year, right? 31 fan base ain't going to be happy.
You guys were in the playoffs. I had to live vicariously through you guys. Come on. You had a prime. At least you had a prime.
I know, man. And definitely, I love meeting Cowboys Nation, man. And I did some pictures earlier and posted on Twitter, man. That's the hard part is you guys. I mean, Cowboys fans are like family. I mean, Jimmy, you got to see it firsthand. You came out with the Bears game. I mean, it is just a fun, group and family, and I made a lot of friends, and whoever thought I'd be going to these different games and meeting different people and just having a great time. So definitely it's sad because those weekends are over, and it's NFL is such a long off season. Figure out how to get busy and keep busy and do some stuff.
Well, obviously the Cowboys are out. My Falcons have been out for a couple of weeks. What do we got? We got, we got the championship game, then we got the Super Bowl, and then before you know it, it's draft time, and then before you know it, it's it's summer workouts. Yeah. So time flies, man.
Yeah. And I was looking. Looks like we got some chat comments about Micah Parsons. I'll jump in a little bit. I don't know where I'm at with it, but. I think they need to move Micah Parsons around a lot. I think, and I think they did that a little bit more in the last couple games. I think leaving him at DN is it's just you're not utilizing the abilities that he has, and I think being able to rush him all over the place and move him around and again his sideline to sideline speed. I mean, you saw it; it was evident stopping the run. Yesterday, you got to move him around because it just looks like he gets worn down. I mean, he's not. I mean, you got to understand he ain't Tank. He's not as big as a DN. That'll wear you down. There's some big boys on that offensive line and constantly having to rush. It takes a lot of energy out of them. So it'll be tough. Cowboys, Dolphins next year. I will be there. Hope it's the same weekend as Hurricanes. Yeah, if it is, your boy will double dip too. But definitely be down for that game. So hopefully hopefully get to meet up. But
Well,
yeah,
and to your point about Parsons, I agree with you. When you move him around, keep the offense, the offensive line guessing and keeping the quarterback guessing, that's a smart move. He's a versatile player. And, I agree.
yeah,
You keep
yeah.
him moving around.
No, you use them all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just you got to remember LT was a linebacker. He wasn't a DN. I mean, he wasn't getting hammered every time running off the ball,
Well,
rushing the
he
passer.
wasn't getting hammered on the field.
Oh
Might have
yeah,
been getting hammered
I
elsewhere.
digress. Let me straighten it out. So, let me see. No, I mean, again,
That was a sick
that
play.
was a great. I mean, Michael Parsons is a badass man. Like, make no mistake about it. I'm just saying, if longevity, I would prefer to see him all over the place because then you can have him attack at all angles. I'm not telling you not to rush the passer. I'm not telling you to make him be a coverage linebacker. I'm saying you move him around to give him freedom to rush at all angles. That's what I'm saying. You don't want him.
Yes.
You don't need to line him up against Trent Williams. There's no reason to line him up on the other side. Have him rush up the gut. I mean that kind of stuff. So anyway,
Oh, no, you see now Camel Piper, good friend of mine. I will not jump ship. I can't stand Shanahan, but for obvious reasons. But so there's your
no,
first dissenter.
yeah, no, and Camel Piper, hey, the Niners look good. I mean, they got us last year. They got us this year. Defense is legit. The running game is legit, but we held them up pretty good. Even Debo really didn't. The game worked out perfectly for the Cowboys, except the ineptitude of their offense. I mean, you couldn't if you were going to script it up, you couldn't ask for a better game. But I'll tell you, the thing I did like about the game is it was hard hitting on all sides. It was an old rivalry game of just two teams just going at it, and there was some tremendous hits, tremendous
Yeah.
plays on the defensive side. It wasn't an offensive. People loved a lot of points and big plays. I mean, you had a few of them in there, but it was hard hitting, man. It was old school, and I was happy. Except there was a couple. It is what it is. There was a personal foul, which was legit on the Cowboys, and then there was one on the
Yeah.
Niners on out of bounds hits. But other than that, there wasn't. I don't. Maybe there was a rough in the passer, maybe on Dak. There might have been one, but it just was a great. It was just a good. It was a good hard hitting game.
To Daniel's point though, that Kittle's catch where he kind of bobbled it and brought it in. That turned the momentum of the game. That
No,
was
that's where Diggs just turned his shoulder and let
yeah.
duck. And I mean, it's like, dude, while he's
And that
bobbling it, he was right there just to hit him, and he would have dropped it. That was huge to
it
me.
was.
That was kept that drive going, and I think they scored the touchdown on that drive.
They
They
did.
weren't moving the ball at all. I mean, they weren't moving it at all.
That was a momentum change. I got Kittle. He's a hell of a player and
Oh,
a
he is.
character. I mean,
Oh,
he keeps me laughing. He is a character, but yeah, that was the momentum changer of the game.
that's a hard thing, man.
Yeah.
I like that guy. He's funny. I mean, he's
He
he's like
is.
he should be a wrestler. Probably be a wrestler.
Well, did you see actually one of the wrestlers, I forget, it was Ray Phoenix, actually gave him a luchador mask a few weeks ago on the sidelines, and he was
Oh,
wearing
really?
it. Yeah. So, all right, Ultra
No.
Cowboy. I mean, Ultra Cowboy, you've been hating on Dak all season long.
He's
So
been
that's
going
not,
back and forth. He's been loving Dak and then hating him. He's loving Dak and then he's hating him. It's that love-hate relation. But I think we all have that. I mean, look, I love Dak. I think he's a great person, and I think everything he has. I mean, you couldn't ask for better. But hey, we got to win. I mean, as
right.
fans, as everything, we got to win, and it's just we need something to change. Need something to change. So they play the Stockholm thing. Oh, they really.
No, but you know what though? If you're looking for a receiver in the offseason, I think that in Buffalo, Diggs might be gone. You see him going off on the sideline
No,
yesterday.
no.
He was
On Allen or on the coaches?
on Allen. He went off, and if that's the case going into the offseason, they're not going to keep his $20 million. He's gone. He'll be on the free agent market.
Well, I'll tell you, they send him down to Dallas. I love Diggs. I actually met him when he was with the Vikings. I wouldn't mind that. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't mind.
He went, the mere fact that he went off on Allen and the way he did, he's all up in his face carrying on. I can't,
Really?
I think in his mind, at that point, he knew he was gone, right? They fire me. I'm already fired. I think it was one of those moments, right? And I think that was his final hurrah.
Oh man, well, yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't have the
Yeah.
satellite dish like you, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But no, that Bills. I mean, that's that was the other game to talk about. Bills and Bengals, man. Bengals. I mean, you go up there, Bills. That's not an easy place to play in the snow and all of this and that. And, everything that was going on, and man, the Bengals put it on them. It wasn't even competitive. I mean, it wasn't
yeah.
even competitive.
They was 14-0, just like that. And like you say, you're gonna blow a home game in the conditions you want. That's the way you're feeling, and you're gonna lose it like that. They didn't look good at all.
No, they look bad,
It's
and that's the thing is, like we talked about, they're not getting a lot as much of the heat as Dallas is getting, and I mean, they've totally underachieved, and it's gonna be interesting. Let me see something. Did you hear anything about all week about it being a snow game? Which game was he talking about this
I'm
weekend?
guessing. No, I'm guessing the Buffalo. That wasn't supposed to. That weather kind of moved in unexpectedly because we got it today.
Oh,
It's been
really?
snowing all day. Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, it don't matter. They had a plan, but I tell you what, man, I like Burrow. I think, what do you
me
think about
too.
Kansas City? I mean, you got Mahomes has got a high ankle sprain. They're going down, Cincinnati's going on the road again. I don't think Mahomes has ever beaten Burrow.
No, no, he hasn't. But you know what? Mahomes high ankle sprain. You don't know what you're going to get next week. Well, I imagine Chad Henne came in. He
Yeah.
actually ran a nice drive,
No, he
and
did that a few years ago when Mahomes, it was a
yeah,
couple years ago, Mahomes got hurt. I think it was against Browns or something like that. He came, they needed him, and he came in. He's a
yeah,
veteran. But I think Cincinnati. I don't know. I think Cincinnati's going to take him. I think Cincinnati's going to take him,
me too.
and
Yeah,
so that
I mean,
leaves us.
you
Go ahead.
know that Mahomes gonna. I don't mean you know Mahomes gonna be playing hurt. I don't care if he's feeling
No,
better. He's game ready. He's gonna be playing hurt. He's not gonna be 100%. And I think you're right. I think Cincinnati takes care of their business.
yeah, and then you go to Philly. Philly absolutely, beat the hell
Oh,
out of the Giants. I know a lot of people want the Giants to, everyone had this fantasy the Giants are going to win, but I mean, Philly was much better team, and they beat the hell out of them. So you got to give credit where credit's due.
well, I do agree with Steve, and we'll get that in a minute. I think it's going to be San Francisco and
Yes,
Cincinnati. But so the Giants down 7-0. They're midfield, 4th and 8, early in the first quarter. What are you doing going for it? That was one of those most stupid ass play calls I've seen. Why are you going for it on 4th and 8 at midfield when you're down 7-0?
I think they knew that they had to score points. They weren't going to be able to go toe to toe with them. And and maybe they're playing with house money, and they were trying to get some. I wouldn't have done it, but I
You
mean,
know
they
what
they
I
didn't,
said?
they didn't have the personnel. I think they realized they didn't have the firepower to match up with them, and they just needed to try something to get it
Well,
going. But so it's going to be the Philly and San Francisco and NFC championship game. So I mean, what's your going to be your take on that one? I can't see Philly win. Damn it, that'll be the end.
oh, screw
That'll be
them.
the end of it. I'll hear the mouse. I got to have something to laugh at.
No, Philadelphia, scummy town. We all know that. I don't like any of their teams. But being objective here, I don't see them getting past San Francisco. You guys played a hell of a game against San Francisco yesterday, especially on the defensive front. And I just don't. I do not see Philly beating them. I don't see any way of that happening.
No,
You
they
know,
still
I
struggle stopping a run. I mean, Barkley did get some runs on them. They had some issues earlier,
yeah,
giving a run, and San Francisco's just got a dynamic running attack. I mean, you throw Debo in there too. I mean, that's like a
yeah.
three-headed monster if you want to.
And he was
And,
quiet
and
yesterday.
yeah, no, I tell you, Dallas did everything right. The difference was, now you're gonna get me started, Jimmy. The difference was we got a seventh round rookie quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant. What did his stat sheet look like? No touchdowns, barely a couple hundred yards, but he had the most important stat that you can have in the playoffs. I don't know if people in the chat know what it is. Anyone
We
know
know
what
it.
it is? The most important stat
Yeah,
you can
This
have that
it's a
Dak didn't.
trivia It's a trivia question. I know what it is. Come
I
on.
mean, that's the difference, and that's what I'm saying is you cannot do that in the playoffs. Now, there you go. There's Camel Piper. I knew he would know. When
Of
you
course.
got a defense playing the way that they are, and you got, you know, and you can run the ball and you're being physical and you're doing this, you're doing everything right. You just can't screw it up and turn the ball over. And that's where Dak, I mean, he's gotta own it. Is you can't turn the ball over. I mean, you had the ball in the red zone, everything. You're going into halftime with the lead at worst, as long as Maher makes a field goal. At worst, it's 9-6. If you get the touchdown, now you're up 13 if he makes the extra point, 13-6, 12-6, whatever it's gonna be. That's huge. And you're getting the ball back, after halftime. That was just so critical. And you can't force the ball. Of my memory, again, I had a few drinks in me. You get excited. I could have sworn it was like 2nd and 2. It wasn't 3rd down. I think they had one more play before 4th after that. So you got another play, throw the ball away, get something else in there and see what happens. It's just like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why you would think to do it, why you would throw it in double cover. I mean, and again, I'm no quarterback, so they could just tell me all this stuff and it wasn't Dak's fault. I don't want to hear faults on interceptions. They didn't say that back in the day. I never heard that. And I will say this, my last thing I'm going to say, I get on my Cowboys rant. If I see one more Twitter person, one more Instagram person, one more person on YouTube telling me that Dak Prescott's better than Troy Aikman, I'll lose it. I mean,
well, you know what?
I'll lose it. I'm just being honest.
I mean, again, Purdy yesterday, he played a flawless game. He wasn't spectacular, but he was efficient, made no mistakes, and that's all he needed to do. And the other stat was the win.
Yeah.
No turnovers and the win. And that's all that counts. Even let's say you guys win yesterday and Prescott had, 2 interceptions. You would have won. It wouldn't have mattered today.
Yep. It would have been at the bottom of bird cages getting shit on. I mean, that's it. No one cares. I mean, that's what happens. So yeah, it's funny that you say that, Steve, about Tom Brady. When and I don't know if you guys felt that way too, but when Tom Brady was looking around, Dak was kind of on those franchise tags, and I said, man, if Dallas can get Brady, I would take it. I would get him, and I mean, I know you're signing a deal with the devil, but man, I want the Super Bowl. I knew he'd win a Super Bowl when he left New England. I knew whatever team he went to, he was going to win a Super Bowl, and and I would have been. Oh, sorry. That was
Whoops.
That was for you. That was paying homage to you, Mom.
Oh gosh, that's great.
No, but yeah, so it was. I don't know. I'm getting riled up, and I even got to do a show on Thursday, just a season in review for the Cowboys. I'm about to lose my mind now. I can't even imagine where I'll be on Thursday. That's what I said, man. This loss, I tweeted, this loss took me hard because this team was there. They were there, and the defense showed out like they needed to. Everything that you wanted to happen did happen, except our offense did nothing.
I'll tell you, you talk about some of the best entertainment this weekend, and it wasn't even on the field, but it was football related. Camel Piper's brother is a big Giants fan, and I've never seen anybody like tee off and curse and explode at the TV like this guy did. He'd have like a quick 10-second explosion full of F-bombs and this and that, and then calm down, And then, 5 minutes later, when the next stupid call happens, he'd explode again, kind of like, some John Starks fan.
Well, I mean, as a Giant fan, he was feeling, he still had to leave feeling all right. I mean, they were expected to win 3 or 4 games. I mean, they got a good coach. They got something going. They're going to have they're in a crossroads of what to do at quarterback and running back. You got Daniel Jones. You got Barkley. Yeah. Barkley had a big year, but he's been hurt so much. Daniel Jones was a turnover machine, and now he's kind of showing some stuff. So, do you sign him? You sign them both? I mean, they're going to be in a tough spot.
So, Clarence, I had a Roman
candle. Remember them Roman candles?
It would have been very exciting, Clarence. It would have been very exciting. Yes.
Oh man. So anyway, well, we're going to get into it, but more importantly, those who missed it Thursday because of Monday night game got screwed everything up. I don't know if Jimmy, you caught it. I had to get Uncle Cheech on. And Uncle Cheech did take the Cowboys against the Tampa Bay. He gave up, he got the points, or gave up the points, I should say. So that was a great move by Uncle Cheech. I think he was 4-0 or 3-1. This week, I don't know. I think Uncle Cheech might be in trouble. But you want to bring him on, Jimmy, and see what he's got to say?
Let's see what we got going on.
Well, let's see what I talked to Uncle Cheech. Let's see what he's got. Just moved over, get you on the big screen. What's up, Uncle Cheech?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Uncle Cheech.
Good.
I love the jacket.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm somewhere where it's cold. I just came in from the outside. I was up by the in the bar a little bit. A little cool out.
All right. So let's hear it. I think you had a good week in wild card weekend, but division weekend, how did we do?
Yeah, not good. I can tell you, I had one winner, 3 losses, one team covered. So you know who I picked.
I don't know about Dallas. Is that telling me you took Dallas, huh?
Well, I gave that a lot of thought, and I figured they roughed their quarterback up enough, he'd make mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they
They
didn't
roughed
rough
him
him up
up.
enough.
They roughed
He
him
didn't
up.
make mistakes.
He didn't make mistakes, and our quarterback did.
Right.
That's not good.
That's it.
I was pretty confident that they'd get to him with your defense. But he didn't. I got to give him all the credit in the world. I don't know what else to say.
No, I mean it's disappointing. It's
Hey,
disappointing.
we gotta wait till next year. Just like my Miami Hurricanes, we're waiting for 22 years. So.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a Miami Hurricane fan too, and I got both these teams. It's been since 2001 that I've been able to enjoy something. Got robbed in 2002, but that goes. That's for another show. So I had to ask you, Uncle Cheech, because you were in that era. Did you catch the clip of Dexter Carter, former Florida State Seminole? We did talk about the Hurricane rivalry a little bit. We're going to get him back on, but Bill Romanowski and the altercation that they had in the locker room with the microwave. Did you
I
catch
heard a little bit about that.
Oh.
Whose story do you believe, Romanowski or Dexter?
I don't believe Romanowski.
Yeah.
I've seen him play.
Romanowski's with the false lies and propaganda.
He's probably one of the dirtiest players. I don't mind a little bit of cheating, but he was really out of hand.
Oh yeah. So the main thing is we got to the truth. Dexter Carter's on there. He retweeted. Jimmy D put a tweet out about all the false lies and propaganda. Finally, it's been corrected on Tag Nation. We gave him the platform, speak his mind. He did it, cleared the air, because this other guy was running on Colin Cowherd. He's going on all these shows. So I was happy to see Dexter Carter clear it up. But more importantly, this is the exciting. It's more exciting if the Cowboys are in there. But championship weekend, you're talking who's going to the Super Bowl. You got 4 pretty good matchups. What's your
on the line? They're pretty even, pretty close. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't bet on it myself, but I'm going to take San Francisco plus 2.5 over Philadelphia. I mean, if you guys didn't rattle this cage, I don't think they're going to either. And they'll do what they have to do, play good defense, be close game. But I like San Francisco.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, we both do. We both do.
As far as the other game, I'll take Cincinnati -1. They were +1 this morning.
Wow.
They were -1 when I checked this afternoon.
The spread is that close.
Yeah.
And KC's at home.
Cincinnati beat them 3 times in a row, and I think they're going to make it 4.
Wow.
Mahomes is a little banged up. I'm sure he's going to play, but
Yeah.
he's still a little banged up.
Yeah.
And what can I say about what the hell's the quarterback's name there? Burrow. He just got a chip on his shoulder.
He does.
Get your refund on the tickets. I think they were pissed off because I didn't think they were going to get there.
Yeah. No.
They went in there. The game wasn't as close as the score. They just pushed them around, did what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful thing. He's cocky. I like that.
Yeah.
And I think they take care of Kansas City 4 in a row.
They killed him to death.
Well, I mean, and yeah, with the injuries and with everything else, it's going to be. And so you're looking at a San Francisco Cincinnati Super Bowl. This would be the third time. There's not many teams have gone 3. I know we were against Pittsburgh 3 times. I don't know if anyone else besides that had faced each other 3 times in the Super Bowl with franchises. That'll be good.
I'm gonna give you my pick, of course, when it comes, but we'll see what happens this week.
That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one.
Absolutely.
You got anything else to share? Anything else you want to share?
Well, the only thing I already talked about last week, like I said, I think Sean Payton is still going to go to the Chargers before everything's said and done.
Oh, wow.
According to people, my inside information.
And do you have any insight on the Cowboys situation? There's a lot of noise about the coach, the coach, the coordinator. What do you
I haven't heard anything as of yet. But you never know what Jerry's going to do. That's the thing.
Yeah. No, that's a wild card. Well, I hope he does it.
And you guys play. You played him tough. You played a good game, and he turned the ball over at a bad time when you're in the red zone. I didn't hear you guys talking before, but when I saw the game, he turned the ball over in the red zone. I mean,
can't do that.
Would have went in the locker room probably ahead, and it could have changed the whole outcome. But got to give the other Purdy credit. He didn't get rattled.
No. I mean, but again, no turnovers on the quarterback. He didn't play great. He got knocked around.
He did what he had to do.
Right.
He had to do. Manage the game. Most people don't want to hear that. Manage the game. I don't know why that's such a bad word.
No,
he made no mistakes.
Don't give the other team the ball. They can't score. Just that simple.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, and the Clarence's part, I mean, I don't have McCarthy. I don't know how you would even part ways with McCarthy. I don't think McCarthy's the problem. Like I said, I think the offense has got to get shaken up. You got to shake up the offense. There's got to either be a new coordinator or a new quarterback, but something's got to give between the two because it ain't working. It ain't working.
Well, I agree with you. I'm not going to say which one should be replaced, but
you're scared.
I mean, the defense is solid. They did everything they could do.
No, they did everything. It's very frustrating. But Sean Payton interviewing with Arizona. That could be why you don't want to go there. I don't know if he really likes Murray. I don't know. I don't know if that. I think Payton's trying to find the perfect spot with a perfect quarterback.
I told you, right? The dream team was the Chargers. Yeah, I heard that 2 months ago. That's where he wants to go.
Well, maybe that's why.
But that's where he wants to be.
Yeah,
you got a good young quarterback there to work with, to build around.
No, it's true.
And you know what, Uncle Cheech? Maybe that's why he's getting all the Botox and the facelifts, because that's what you do in SoCal. Got to look good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Uncle Cheech don't get no shots.
It's natural, man. It's natural.
It's natural.
Hey, the chicks come around. You know what I'm saying?
Very handsome.
Like the roller coaster, the oldest ride in the park, but everybody wants to ride. You know what I'm saying?
The oldest ride with the longest line. I know what you're saying.
Uncle Cheech has himself all nice and handsome.
I know. Well, we will see you next week, Uncle Cheech. See if you can bounce back. You did a big wild card weekend, not so good divisional weekend. Let's see you get these picks right. I'm pulling for you. That's what I picked. I'm picking San Francisco. I'm picking Cincinnati. So I feel good.
We'll see you next week. I'm sorry for your loss.
No, it's all right. All right.
What are you going to do?
I got to wake up in the morning and go to work, so there's nothing I can do. I can't sit.
All right, guys.
They put me on TV crying like those guys that I had to watch Stephen A. Smith make fun of. Ain't nobody making fun of me with tears in my eyes because we lost.
All right, guys.
All right, I'll see you.
Have a good one. See you next week.
Ciao. Presto. So you know what? I saw Steve. Yeah, they did play twice. One was 90 with the Icky Shuffle.
Yep.
Remember?
And then like 81.
82.
82.
81, 82, yeah.
Yeah, it was Joe
Been
Montana
a minute.
and Kenny Anderson, I think, the first one, and then It was Boomer Esiason and
Boomer.
Joe Montana on the second one.
Yeah.
Both games came down to the wire. I think both of them were pretty close. I know the one that it was played in Miami. That was a game-winning drive. That was the famous Joe Montana game-winning drive where he lightened the mood, saying, pointed to John Candy in the stands and said, "Hey, look," told the team, "Hey, look, there's John Candy," when they're in the huddle. So
you know what? Are we just that old that we remembered things
I know
30 and 40 years ago? What the hell happened?
The funny thing is, I remember that one well because I was in middle school, and I think they had the band, or there was some in our middle school. They were picking people to participate in the halftime show.
Yeah.
So I just remember that, and let's see, there'll be 3. And what did he say? This will be 3, and Joe Burrow will win. Yeah, I think the Bengals get them. They get them that time. The only concern that you got with the Bengals is their offensive line, and whoever they play in the Super Bowl, whether it be Philly or whether it would be San Francisco, both of them have very good defensive fronts. That could be that would be the wild card, in that game if they were going to play Cincinnati. Because if you remember the last Super Bowl, man, he got destroyed. They got sacked like 8 times.
Well, no, if it comes down to that, which I think it will, it's going to be tough. I think that Cincinnati, I think they beat Philly. San Francisco, I don't know. Like I've said, man, and I said it for weeks that the NFC goes through them. Yeah. I still believe that moving in this weekend against Philly, and I don't know. That'll be the more interesting. That'll be the more fun game. Well, first of all, we don't have to see Philly, hear the Philly fans, and all that crap. We don't want any part of that. First of all,
I don't want none of that, man. No. I want them to get their hearts ripped out next weekend. If that would at least soften the pain of what I've been feeling. I haven't even watched TV. I didn't watch anything after the game. I didn't watch anything. Didn't listen to no radio. Didn't listen to anything when I got home. It's just like, I just let all the stuff just go, and then I'll turn it on in a couple of days. I was barely on any social media because I just didn't want to hear. The only thing I did see is obviously there's a lot of Dak hate. There's a lot of Dak hate, justifiably. I can't, I wouldn't be honest with myself if I didn't say, hey, I'm just as frustrated as the fans are. I mean, that game and just kind of what you're seeing in these opportunities, it's very hard in the NFL. I mean, Jimmy, you know it, right? I mean, the Falcons, it's hard, but you have those years, but it's very hard to get to the Super Bowl, very hard to get to championship games, very hard to make the playoffs. And when you got these opportunities, man, you just can't put up duds, man. If we would have lost 31-28, some crazy game, it was back and forth. Both teams played a clean game. It was just, whoever got the ball last or something like that, you could deal with it. But when you lose and you lose the way you did, and the turnover, just critical turnovers, but everything you're on the other side of the ball went so well for you. It's very hard to get over.
I mean, so being a Falcons fan, we went to the Super Bowl in 2000. We got lit up by Denver. Yeah, I felt better after that than after the damn game against Tom Brady.
Oh yeah,
I didn't go near social media, TV. I didn't pick up my phone for 2 days because I didn't want. I couldn't. I was internalizing a lot, and I didn't want to hear any more about it.
Oh no, I agree. You'd almost sometimes you'd rather get blown out because then your mind, you just kind of start laughing. It's like when we were in Tampa, we blew them out, and the fans that were left, or even the fans that are around, I mean, first they're jawing and we're having some good thing. You're laughing because it's what are they going to do? I mean, you could just the fans, you kind of all that all that anger and all that stuff just kind of goes away because man, what are you going to do? I mean.
Not right.
But when you lose the way that we lost or lose the way you lost in the Super Bowl, you think about it over and over. And all right, play here, play there. If we would have done this, if we would have done that, if we would have just kicked the field goal, Falcons would have, you know what I mean?
Would have done that. If Mike Shanahan would have just ran the ball, we would have won the Super Bowl.
Yes. And I told you, Dexter Carter played the 49ers, who was one of the coaches he had coordinated was Mike Shanahan. He used to say that, Kyle used to run around as a kid and this and that. And he said, well, and he didn't want to say it, but I told him, I said it for him. I said, well, oh, you talking about the 28-3 when all they had to do was run the ball, they would have won a Super Bowl? He goes, you said it, not me. And he started laughing.
You can see I still get wound up about it years later.
Oh, hey, dude, I think of you. Man, let me just say, man, I'm so used to this team losing. It doesn't even bother me anymore. 2007. Yeah. No, I know. I mean, you start to become numb to it sometimes, getting your heart broken. And it's so crazy because the Cowboys never were that way. I mean, they were in the 60s. They were, next year's champions. And it's almost kind of done its, kind of a full circle because you had the success in the 70s and then in the 90s. And here it's just, man, when we lose, we just lose in ways that break your heart. But I wanted to get to, I was thinking of you and the Falcons, but also the Bills. When the Bills were beating the Chiefs, and it was like, 15, 20 seconds left. You can't tell me all the Bills. If you're a Bills fan, man, you're calling people up, you're doing cartwheels, you're doing this and that. And I know you said you weren't comfortable, but there's no way that you weren't like, man, pumped up, 28-3. I mean, there's no way.
The thing is, I remember my cousin. I got cousins in New England, first cousins, and my cousin called me at halftime and said, "Look, man, you guys are playing great. Congratulations." I will say, I said to him, "Look, we're the Falcons. You have Tom Brady. This game is not over yet." And that's exactly what I said. Okay, yeah. He didn't believe me, but you know what? It wasn't even Matty Ice. Again, it was just stupid play calling.
No, it was, and it's that's why I say these coaches and these coordinators, they're critical. I mean, they're critical. I mean, you've got in Dallas, you've had this going on for all this time, and it's not working. It's time for a change. They got to shake it up. Maybe someone else can come in. Maybe someone else can get, Dak's, whatever it is, whether it's a technique, whether it's between the ears, whatever it is, because he's shown ability. He's had huge games. He's had big seasons. He's had all of that. There's something that's happening in the critical games where it's just not, and I don't want to say it's everyone, because I was thinking about it. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were going through the games, and it was, all right, both San Francisco games. Those were the problem ones. He won the playoff game against Tampa. He won against Seattle. The Rams just blew they just ran all over us. You can't really blame him. I don't think he had a bad game. And then you look at the Green Bay game where he started a little slow, but man, he came on. And if it wasn't for that 3rd and 19, I mean, it goes in overtime. We win the game. We had all the momentum. So I don't want to put it all on his shoulders his whole career, but it's a what have you done for me lately league. And this is the last memories that we're seeing. And something has to change. Jerry's got to shake it up. If he's serious about winning, if he's serious about all that stuff, something's got to change. I know Mike McCarthy calls plays. I don't know if it needs to be that, but he needs to have his thumbprint, his stamp on the offense and run what he wants and run what he needs. And that's the way I would be. If I'm going out, man, I'm going out my way.
No, but you know what? I don't think your head coach, it's not the head coach. What if, and this is a maybe crazy I'm saying this, what if you don't see Dak or Kellen Moore next year?
No, I mean, it could be. There's just no way because of the money. If you could trade him, I'd say if you could trade him, and I hope I'm just going to be honest. If you could trade him, I'd trade him. I just don't think you're going to get a team that, and again, his contract isn't terrible. I mean, he's like the 8th, the 10th. And as soon as you get, these guys getting their quarterbacks going, he's going to be in the middle of the pack. But they're going to have to, I just think something has to change. And maybe a fresh start for him would be good, or getting rid of Kellen Moore and getting a fresh start for Dak and a coordinator. And again, it's just like anything. We get different managers, we get different, things in our business and life. And sometimes a fresh set of eyes and new techniques and new thoughts is refreshing.
Yeah. And you know what, at the end of the day, maybe that is the case. I get back to, though, instinctive skills. I look at, obviously I'm not an NFL quarterback. I ain't wearing a number on my back, but I'm not throwing in a double and triple coverage. I don't care what the play call was. And that's what I was seeing a lot of yesterday, trying to force the ball into bad spots. Or I know a couple, like we said, I think Lamb was overthrown once, and one of the other receivers kind of hit him on the wrong shoulder, on the left, and it was supposed to go to the right. So there was just some missed opportunities in addition to throwing into traffic.
Yeah.
Some of that's instinctive as a quarterback,
No, and that's the thing, is the interceptions at the wrong time, and it's just, I don't know. I could beat a dead horse with it, and it's not going to change anything. All we can do is see what happens. It's disappointing end for the Cowboys season, but we got some good stuff. All right, we got the off season. Jimmy D and I were hitting it on Monday nights. Getting our, got a Thursday show. Kelly K9 has been guest appearing on that, working on.
He's funny,
and so we're building this platform in this channel, in these podcasts. So that's what I'm saying. You guys hit the like, hit the share, tell your Cowboys friends and Cowboys Nation, even if they're NFL fans, because you're going to start to see Jimmy and I. Monday nights, we want to get into some other stuff too. We're going to, as soon as football season's over, we're going to get into baseball. We're going to get into some of these other sports. We might be able to get into some professional wrestling, but we want to really, bring some different things to the channel. Love interacting with the fans and talking to them and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it's a big anniversary for Raw tonight, and Hogan's going to be on, and Flair.
Oh, really?
It's going to be a good show. Yeah, but getting, like you're saying, baseball, basketball, hockey. I mean, anything. I mean, maybe we'll, come out of left field. I know, Mike, you're always a big boxing fan. You never know when they come out with some boxing or whatever else. So,
well, what we need to do, and I figured it out, Jimmy. I tested it, and I think I tested it on Thursday. I played an interview, and in the beginning there was some echo, and I think I figured out what I needed to do. But there's a way that we can play external videos through this platform.
Even better.
In audio. So we're talking some of our old school prank calls, some of our we've got an easier way to play it now with some of the equipment that we've invested in. So we're gonna have some fun, and that's what it's all about. I mean, look, we're all distraught. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're pissed off, you're distraught, you're angry. Let all those emotions, right? There's 3 stages of grief. What is it? It's how did it happen? Why did it happen? And then I guess you kind of.
I don't know. I've been in grief since 2017. I've been in grief for 5 years.
All right. Well,
so I don't know.
So we're at the anger. I'm at the angered stage. Give me Thursday. I'm going to be all right. We can't change it. We just got to, how do we move forward? Kelly's going to be on the show. So I don't know what stage he's at. He was pretty pissed off on his rant on after the game. And that's what I was telling him. I said, man, I'd love to do that. I mean, you say what I feel sometimes. I said, but the problem is the language. I said, with my job and everything, I can't have that kind of language. And I got to be careful how I tweet it. So I said, man, I'm sorry. I said, I feel all of what you say, man. I just, but
but the only part too is then you're giving fodder for the enemy. Then you're having Philadelphia fans ripping some of your video and retweeting it and goofing on it. But no, you know what? Raw emotion. It doesn't suck. But I agree. We got to kind of watch what we say a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, I love it. And hey, believe me, I get my share of hate because here, like I always said, when I do the videos, they are pregame. So if we lose, you better believe that it's, all the crap I said about the Niners or all the crap I said about Philly and all the crap I said about all these other teams, those things don't hide. They can go find them and they can cut it up and they can play it on their show and they can laugh at me and they can call me every name in a book. And, this is the reason why, people hate the Cowboys and all this and that. And, I accept it. I have no issues with it, but that's the problem is I can't, I called my shot before. I believe in the Cowboys. And that's kind of how it all started is because I could talk anyone into the Cowboys winning if you give me a week and the weeks go on. So anyway, what's your thoughts? First time back in the cave, looking around. What's that mean?
I think what he means is, all right, so the game's over, you're back in the cave and you're like,
I'm looking around and all I see are ghosts. All I see are all my guys that won championships, and I haven't been able to put a new one up. If that's what you're asking about, I'm starting to get upset. I'm looking at Emmitt Smith in front of me, and I'm looking at Tony Dorsett, and I'm looking at John Dutton, and I've got a picture with Blaine Nye and against the San Francisco 49ers in a playoff game, and I'm looking at all the Dan Reeves, Hollywood, all these guys. And, then I look, this is my newer wall you got Parsons and Lamb and you got those guys. I need to get some rings. I need to get some championships. My banner, I'm ready to get my banner redone. So, yeah, it's sad. It's sad because it's been a long time. And as a Cowboys fan, and you guys feel it, especially if you're in the age bracket, at least by me, where you were in high school when they were winning, you have good memories of those championships. It sucks. I no other way I could say it.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? So,
no,
I look at, and then again, we still have a couple weeks, and I know the Cowboys are out. You're pissed. Everybody's not, nobody's happy, but we got a few weeks of football left.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, the draft and then the OTAs. But in the meantime, we got other sports too. So whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah. Oh, depressed. Yeah. That's yeah. That's bad. It's all stages of emotions, but like I said, we're gonna be heading out. I want to make sure again that you guys, hit the like, hit the share, subscribe. We're live on Monday. I don't know, Jimmy. We're gonna have to talk about the time if we want to push it later or something, because I know we're the lead into Monday night, or if we leave the time the same, we'll figure something out. And then we do a live show on Thursday, 9 p.m. It's strictly Cowboys. Get a guest in here or there. And then there are some interviews. So we're working on NFL interviews. Hopefully we can mix in some baseball interviews, maybe some basketball. I'm trying. A buddy of mine was trying to get Charlie Ward, and that would be, some Knicks.
Ah, yes.
So it's not over yet. It ain't over yet. We're still in conversations to try and see if we can make it happen, because, that would be your cup of tea. I'll talk a little Florida State, Miami, and then we'll just turn it over to the Knicks, because you know that much better than I.
Old school, man. Now you're bringing back memories. Thanks, Dan. We appreciate that. That's very kind of you.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys. We appreciate the support. Continue. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. All this does is help with the algorithms to get the word out. More subscribers, the more it's out there. The more likes, the more comments, the more it gets put on, things that people may like within our genre. So anything you guys can do to help. Like I said, I'm going to have a very special, it's going to take a lot to get there, right? 2,500 subscribers. So we're just about 1,000 away, but it's going to have to do with the Dallas Cowboys, AT&T Stadium. It might be pretty good. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you get it. If you are subscribed, tell your friends. Those are all my shameless plugs, Jimmy. I sound like a used car salesman.
No, I think you sound great. Maybe, you know what? I might unsubscribe and then have my finger on the button for the 2,500.
No, it won't be done that way. It's going to be very similar, because I want to
like last time. That was fair last time.
We're going to do so, because honestly, we can't see who subscribes. I don't know who subscribes. I don't get a list. I don't know when people. It just goes up. So once we hit 2,500, we're going to have a giveaway, and hopefully it'll be before the season. Otherwise, tickets to the game won't be so good. So, but anyway, and if your boy does have pretty good seats. So,
but yeah, so I mean, I think Ronnie, no, I agree with the old school Knicks, man.
Who's that?
My favorite player. What's that?
Big Mama's talking about the Eagles.
Eagles. Oh,
I thought it said Big Mama. So what it is, Big Mama?
Yeah,
it was a movie.
Dummy.
Hey, you Eagles can talk all the noise you want. You're still there. We're not. I can deal with it. I wish you guys luck, but I hope you lose. How's that?
No, they're good. I look at, like I said, I think they're going down. The Giants, they were a good story, and then some stupid ass play call 4th and 8 in the first quarter. I think the Eagles are going down. I don't see any way they're beating San Francisco. Going to meet War on February 4th. That's pretty cool. Like I was saying, Knicks, old school. Anthony Mason, my favorite player. Love that guy.
Oh, Anthony Mason. That's one we ought to look up.
I mean, a big man who can handle the ball and was just
Yeah.
was a beast, and he died young. Rest in peace.
Oh, he died. I can't look
Yeah,
him up.
few years back. Now, well, you can look him up, but
I want
rest
Oakley.
in peace.
That's a rest in
Oak.
peace.
Oh, Oak was awesome.
Yeah, Oakley was one of my.
Yeah.
I'm not a Knicks guy, but Oakley and the X-Man.
Xavier
That's it.
McDaniel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So that's a funny thing is you saw. I'm going to get drawn out, but the X. So he did the X, and then you had Dante Hall. He did the X, and
Yeah.
then did the X. And I told you, I saw. I don't know if I even said it on the show, but I saw Dante Hall before the Tampa game, and he was talking noise. And I'd love to find the video because him and I were going at it. Just jawing back and forth. Someone was recording the what was going on. I didn't know it. And he said that he's going to be thinking of me on Monday, as we're getting our ass kicked. And I said, all right, man. I said, just make sure. I said, I'm going to hit you up after that game.
Right.
That's what I did. He laughed. So it was fun.
Well, Patrick Ewing. I don't remember, Ronnie, when Ewing got drafted. It was him and Bernard King. We had the Twin Towers. Then Bernard King has a major knee injury not too long thereafter. But now I love Patrick Ewing. Hey, brought us two championships.
Was what's his name hanging on his leg? The coach? Was that Ewing?
That was Patrick. It was Riley. Who was it?
It wasn't Riley. It was the
Van Gundy.
Van Gundy.
Yeah, that's right.
Was it Ewing's foot?
I am trying to remember. You know what? Yeah, that was It was chaos, McMahon.
That was the best. I mean, those are the great days. I mean, we're going to get into it on other shows, but those are the great days.
It was Dan Lowe. He just said, yeah, it was Van Gundy. That's right.
Yeah, that was the best.
It was the good old days.
Knicks rivalries, man. I love when basketball had those heated rivalries. It was so
no, and you know what it was? It's not like today's game. Now, look, I'm a big Knicks fan. You throw Randall. As I said before, Brunson. I was wrong about him. He's playing great. I'm glad we picked him up. But man, the game today, and I know we're shutting it down here in a minute. The game today is so different than it was back then. Man, them guys were beating each other's asses. You came down the lane, you knew you were going to get hurt. It's just such a different game today than it was back then. So anyway,
we're going to get into the phone calls too. It's just been hard, navigate. But now you can see Jimmy's man in some of the controls. So we're going to get back into the phone calls too, and try and make it more of a call-in show on Monday as well. So. Definitely. You guys got to call in. And sometimes we do that. A couple people call in and everyone else gets scared. We want to hear you. We want to hear you talk to voice. So we'll get it going. I'll leave you. I don't really, I'm not leaving you with a good one because I'm still depressed. So I'll just leave you one with Marcus Spears real quick. We'll get out of here. You guys hit that like, subscribe, share. Appreciate you. I'll see you Thursday, 9:00. We'll kind of do a season in review for the Cowboys, kind of put everything to bed and focus on the next season. So you guys take care. Jimmy D, I appreciate it, brother.
Have a great week, man.
All right.
We're gonna handle that business. We gotta get hype. Can you feel me? Can